Ah, fun. Here we are. Huh. They say he's a chicken. I think he's a duck. Alright, so the topic of this video, as you can see, is going to include furnaces. Uh, the subject here is furnaces and fuel efficiency without redstone. Now, before anybody gets any ideas, redstone doesn't affect fuel efficiency, but a lot of the most efficient furnaces include redstone. So, when it comes to fuel, you have a wide array of options with different efficiencies. Sticks and saplings are good for 5 seconds or 1/2 of one operation. Wood slabs or half blocks, 3/4 of an operation or 7.5 seconds. Swords and wooden swords and wooden tools, 1 second or one operation. A lot of people, when you're first starting out, you make your wood tools. The very moment you get cobblestone, you start using the cobblestone tools instead. They're faster, more efficient, and usually you end up with multiple tools that are half used. Now, this column pretty much includes every single wooden placeable object except for half blocks. So you got banners, mushroom blocks, jute boxes, and note blocks if you're really got expensive taste. Daylight sensors, again, something that's way more expensive than it's worth. Chests and trap chests, bookshelves, workbenches, trap doors, I assume that includes doors, fences, gates, wooden steps, wooden planks, and then just log blocks. Now these two are of note to somebody first starting out because, well, you put one wood block into a crafting tile and you get 4 of these out. So why burn one of these when you can turn one of these into 4 of these and get the same thing? Now next over is coal and charcoal, and then blaze rod, another one of those rare things that's really not worth it. And now here's coal blocks. Now the catch with the coal block is you take coal, put in 3x3 into a crafting workbench. So 9 coal blocks or 9 pieces of coal gives you a coal block, and the coal block is actually good for 10 times what one of these are. So it's kind of put 9 in, get 10 out. And then lava buckets. See, lava's not good for more than just killing you. So this is everybody's first furnace. Pretty simple design. I was supposed to put fuel in there earlier. Oh well. So yeah, there you go. Charcoal. Accidental extra tip there. So yeah, that's your basic furnace. Everybody's pretty familiar with that. Usually when you're getting to the point where one of these is not good enough, there's kind of 2 ways to go. Either you just make more of these, or you upgrade to something like this. The special here, or the feature here, is that you just put everything that has to smelt up top, and it filters down on its own. Now, you would have seen that filtering down, except for this is a trap chest, and trap chests don't flow while being watched. But the hopper sucks it out of the chest, the hopper feeds it into the furnace, and it just goes on its merry way. Now, when you start to get to the point where you need to upgrade from one of these, and you're not a redstone type of guy, you're going to go with one of these. A hopper to feed the smelting items in, and a hopper to feed fuel in. Now, point a hopper at a chest, or at a furnace, from either the back or the side, just by hitting shift to crouch and target what you want, and it'll place it on with the funnel actually pointing into the object. So you can put fuel into the sides or the back. So items go in top, fuel goes in back, and it just goes on its merry way. Now if you happen to start to outgrow this, you can either start slapping more of these side by side, or go with something like this. This will actually pull the finished items out of the furnace, so that you don't have to sit there and babysit it, so it won't ever reach capacity until this is actually full. Now when that finishes its first piece of charcoal, it just drops straight down. Now, chances are you probably never have one of these, as it just seems more logical to double up on this, but this would be the next step if I were in this video, because it's just two of these side by side. So now you have double chests. Works the exact same way, it's just less individual machines to maintain. Now, as far as individual or small furnaces goes, this is probably the beast of them all. Now this one, you throw your smelted items on top, and they feed in. Now, as you can see, this one's already fueling, because this is actually my second attempt at this video. Last time I did it, I forgot to turn my fan off, and I didn't feel like rebuilding everything. So, it's already got charcoal. Now, in the original video, before I screwed up, this back here is actually a slightly more efficient design than the others, because this one, you throw your logs in top, and they come down, and they smelt into here, into charcoal. And you put fuel on the sides to fuel this furnace. Now the charcoal that comes out of this furnace fuels this one, which is actually doing your smelting. This is probably easier to maintain reasonably if you're actually playing with somebody, because then you can have one person that's worried about the mining and keeping the smelting stuff, this stocked with smeltable stuff, and then the other person can do your farming, which includes wood to keep the back stocked for charcoal. Now, these are all the pretty simple designs for on the spot. You might have one of these down in the mine, you might have one of these in your house, you might have one of these where you do your lumbering, depending on how sprawled out your base is. But let's say you want to go to the extreme. And let's face it, there's not really a point to do a Minecraft video unless you're going to show something that's a little interesting and not completely generic. So, here is what I consider probably one of the biggest and one of the most efficient furnaces that uses 0 redstone. And this is actually a pretty simple design, and this is the majority of the reason why I didn't want to take the time to tear this completely apart and redo everything. This furnace actually takes 2.5 hours to fill up. It's got 32 furnaces across the bottom, 32 across the top. Now, in theory, you can extend this all the way out to like 1280 without having load issues, assuming that your computer can handle having 10 chunks loaded at a time. But the theory is simple. You got all these hoppers feeding into the top, and then you got these hoppers pointed across the side. Now, you put your metric crap load of cobblestone in this one, or iron, or as the sign says, anything that's to smelt. The hopper will push it aside, but the higher priority is the hopper below that will actually pull the item out. So this one is full, so this hopper is capable of pushing an item across. And if this one happens to be empty, which it's not, but if it happens to be empty, it'll pull the item out before this hopper can actually push it across. So you're filling up in order. And as soon as one's full, it just pushes all the way across until eventually you got this one full. Now, that's simply how it works. Now on the back, we have a fuel chest that it says charcoal from above, but this is fuel chest. Same exact thing, but it's pumping into the back. Up top, here is a fuel chest. Now I have this labeled mine, fuel, coal, or lava. This is under the assumption that you have a couple friends, dedicated miner whose only time he comes back is to drop off a load or pick up tools. So this sign is labeled for his convenience. Anything he's mining up that's a fuel, coal or lava primarily, goes in this chest. Anything he's mining up that's got to be smelted goes in this chest. Now, assuming, hopefully, you have a third person, they would be managing the farm. So they'd be bringing logs back, which would go in this chest. And once again, this just disperses the stuff down the line and makes coal. Now underneath of this is hoppers that are pointing back this way, which drop into the charcoal chest. So the top one is literally there to make fuel for the bottom one. Now, last time I was doing this video, I had actually set this all up, and the only thing that was left to do to actually show you it being turned on was to move the fuel from this chest to this chest. Now that happens to not be the case now, since it's already been run and it's all well stocked. So now I just drop some logs in here, and as you can see, the background is already starting to light up. My finger can't click today. So it just starts filling up. Now this is both pointed down, so both these came out at the same time, but as soon as these hoppers are full, well, as soon as this is full, then these hoppers will fill up. Then it'll start pushing it over here to this, or pushing it across here, and it gets sucked down into this one. So to speed this along, I'm just going to come up here and grab 5 quick stacks. And then there it goes, moves across, just like that. And then this coal will just move down and start dispersing through here. Now, since I ran these, all these are full. But as I run across and pull these out, which is going to be the third player's objective, is to just keep these empty. And the struggle of keeping these empty, and then by the time you go deposit them, make a couple tools, do some enchanting, stock some tools for the miner and lumberjacker that are constantly running in and out. By the time you're done with all that, these are probably going to be about half full again. So you just run down the list, empty them out, and keep running back and forth. Maintain whatever small other project you got going. Come back over here. It's definitely not a small thing. It's definitely not something you can just ignore. This is for the group of players that are looking to be constantly busy. They're looking to grow fast and hard. This type of furnace is just that. It will keep you busy. Being 32 furnaces long at an operation time of 8 seconds per item, this is actually dropping on average 4 items a second. And assuming that you have everything on hand ready to go, this thing takes close to 1,500 iron ingots to make, a bit of an obscene number of cobblestone, and if you have every single cobblestone and everything ready to max it out, this thing takes like 23,000 cobblestone or smeltable items to fill it up to this point, not counting these 3 hoppers in the chest, just from here on over. 23,000 items, 23,000 logs. If you just start dumping everything, in there, in these chests, from the time you drop the first one till the time this is full, 2.5 hours. Now once this thing is full, it takes 1.5 hours to empty, assuming that you got somebody keeping the furnaces empty completely the entire time. So it's not exactly a groundbreaking design. It's not exactly complicated. Seriously, the hardest part is crouching and slapping a hopper on sideways. This requires no redstone. There's no reason it should really break. So now, as a little something extra, since this is on a live server, like seriously, there's a town right over here. You can see their sign, Jesus Batman. I'm going to go ahead and tear this down. But for the members of the server that are watching, there's going to be a chest right here full of coal blocks. Have fun. Subscribe and comment.